Hi, guys. Okay, so let's jump right into it. This week I am talking about Judith McNaught's Whitney, My Love. Now, this book, my book, has seen better days because I read this book when I was like a teenager, and I'm at a big age now, and I still have it. I'm at a really big age, and I still have it. But it was such a good book. And so I read it then, and I actually just reread it recently. So I'm reading it like so many decades after my original read. But it is still a very good read. The main characters are the Duke of Claymore and Whitney Stone, obviously, Whitney, My Love. And this is a historical romance. I believe it's set in like 1816. As But beyond it being those things and it being as old as it is, Judith McNaught is a fantastic writer. And I say that because I have many of her books. Usually, as I said before, if I like an author, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to like majority of their books. Now, reading this book again after so many years, I I realized a couple of things about it that I didn't realize back then. One, it was probably super inappropriate at that time for me to be reading this type of book because I was a teenager. Two, I think a lot of things that went on then still goes on today. So it's still very relevant, even for a historical romance book. Three, there are some scenes in here that make me blink twice that I read and didn't know because maybe at that age, I didn't know. I'm just reading it. But at this age, I realize what these things are that I didn't know then. But as I said before, with all of that set aside, this is a good read. So you take the journey with these two people, and they grow during this time frame of him trying to court her and her being evasive because she wants somebody else. But it is a beautiful story and a beautiful journey. And I hope if you hadn't read it, that you'll consider reading it. And if you have read it, that you consider reading it again because it is that kind of book. Now, again, haven't picked up this book, I believe, since that time frame. I could be wrong because usually I keep books I like. Every 10 or so years, I try to go back through some of the books that I really enjoyed and read again. A lot of my books, if I really enjoy them, I probably have picked them up no less than a dozen times and read them again. And that's just, I like taking that journey. And if I let years go by, I don't always remember all the details of it. And I like to reread it. It's always an adventure reading. And generally, when I'm doing that, I'm not always reading from just the main characters. I'm looking at all of the characters and enjoying all of their parts and all of their journeys and all of their experiences. That's the beauty of reading. So that is my review. This is a good read. It's a long read. It's a thick book for most. I don't think it's that thick, but some people will consider it a long read. I don't think it took me that long to read it. Maybe about a week and a half. And that includes my work because I do work a 9 to 5 and have a part-time job as well on the weekend. So I'm never reading anything straight through like I like to. So there's plenty of pauses in between. But I still completed this book in about a week and a half. And maybe that's because I find her writing, along with a couple of other authors, real page turners. Like, I just really enjoy it. Some books I might take a little longer to read because sometimes I like to savor the book. It just depends on what's going on at that time. But this one, I give a thumbs up. So that is it for now. Enjoy, subscribe. Thank you for listening.